Caribbean Insight, the oldest West Indian TV program alive on the planet today. 30 years and still number one in the USA for value, consciousness, history and trending events. CITV with Lady V.
I'm Lady V on CITV, bringing you cultural programming highlighting the history and journey of a people, awakening their social consciousness as we celebrate 30 years of programming. COVID-19 coronavirus is attacking the world, and under fear and caution, the Caribbean is adjusting to the new normal in its defense against this virus. On this episode, the Prime Ministers of Grenada and St. Vincent presents their roadmap to recovery.
Fellow Grenadians, the COVID-19 pandemic continues to be the greatest challenge facing Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and many other countries around the world. However, with this unprecedented challenge comes opportunities for innovation and strategic thinking to restart our economies. It calls for all of us to have more patience, love, and tolerance in dealing with each other. In the midst of this pandemic, government must carefully balance competing priorities, ensuring that our healthcare system and workers are adequately prepared to deal with COVID-19. Approved businesses will operate their respective pre-COVID schedules within the allotted time, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The daily curfew remains in place from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Other areas slated for reopening this week include real estate services, laundromats, landscapers and gardeners, flower shops, consumer credit stores, and companies offering payday loans. At the most recent emergency meeting of CARICOM heads, we collectively agreed to start gradually relaxing the restrictions for travel, as the pandemic in the region has been largely contained. We therefore expect to open our borders in the first week of June. This same rationale also influenced the decision to cancel Spice Mass 2020. In the midst of this crisis, investor confidence remains high. The recent acquisition this week of Port Louis and Mount Cinnamon, with plans to add over 500 hotel rooms in an investment worth over $350 million, speaks volumes for the recovery potential of our economy. As we make future projections, sisters and brothers, critical actions are required now to bring relief to all our citizens. Government is now facing the stark reality of negative growth, triggered largely by the significant impact of tourism, construction, and education. This has resulted in a drastic decline in government revenue. Government is therefore utilizing its reserves and to seek also international help to finance any deficit and bring relief. Already, we have attracted funding from the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the European Union, the government of India, and the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and also Caribbean Development Bank. We are still in the very early stages of the rollout, but to date, close to over 2,000 Grenadians have benefited from the payroll and income support initiatives. The National Insurance Scheme is expected to begin paying unemployment benefits to eligible persons. It is estimated that more than 5,000 persons will receive those benefits disbursed over the next 6 months. The suspension of the 2% increase in NIS payment is already in effect and will cover the period April to June 2020. Government has made additional funding available for disbursement through the existing small business lending facility at the Grenada Development Bank, GDB. A reduced interest rate of 3% is being offered to people involved in agriculture, fisheries, and agro processing. Electricity consumers will feel less of a pinch from this month, as they start to benefit from the promised 30% reduction in bills, I must publicly express government's gratitude to the St. George's University, which has been facilitating the PCR testing program. We are successfully waging the war on COVID-19, but questions abound about the overall impact on our ability to recover. I say to you with utmost confidence that Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique will get through this. Government continues to embrace its role as leader, and we pray that through God's guidance, we'll make the right decisions. We will emerge from this pandemic stronger, I'm convinced, and more resilient. We have faced serious challenges before, and I have no doubt that we'll also prevail in the face of this deadly crisis. I acknowledge the immense sacrifices being made by some, but there are others who simply sit back and criticize. I urge you, let us all strive to do better in this crucial period. Grenada's survival and recovery must be a collective effort. In unity, we all know there is strength.
Grenada is such a beautiful country, where come put so much black makers of history. Man, I sure that many people will agree. Hey. If I say she's blessed by the Almighty, oh God, the standard of skills and talent we have down here in this land, it is too much for me to mention. Hey. The level of education keep rising to higher heights, and if I'm wrong, don't say that I'm right. Hey. I want to tell everybody I'm so proud of my country. Don't care wherever I may be, I say Grenada belong to me. No country in this world could do the things that my country would do for me. I am proud, I love my Grenada, my homeland forever. Sing the chorus louder, tell them about Grenada, the land of my grandfather. She will always prosper. Whoa, my Grenada, land of fruits and culture. Grenada is such a paradise, oh God, but a lot of folks don't realize. If we learn to pull we hand, do the little that we can, we could make Grenada a better land. Hey! Mommy, oh! Sometimes when I go to a foreign country, such as the United States, who is so wealthy, I just beg the Father to have some mercy. Hey. When I see madness in society, the number of crime and violence I see on the street, sometimes I'm frightened I cannot eat. Hey. But when I check out Grenada, we never have no diamond and silver, but we just live in unity, and that's what make me happy. Is then I come to realize, oh God, my country is a paradise. I love my Grenada, my homeland forever. Sing the chorus loud, tell them about Grenada, the land of my grandfather. She will always prosper. Whoa, my Grenada, land of fruits and culture. Grenada is such a paradise, oh God, but a lot of folks don't realize. If we learn to pull we hand, do the little that we can, we could make Grenada a better land. Hey! Bum, 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 babe. Mommy, oh!
I wash me hand, I wash me foot, I wash me back. I decide to pray and kneel down on me mat. I tell God, we can't take no more. And this COVID-19 just needs to go. But something tell me, boy, just check yourself. And make sure you sanitize everything else. I remember his animal giving that. So tomorrow I wash him in the back. Don't take life for granted. Don't take life for granted. It's all you ever wanted.
The message is a simple one. Stay in hiding. Corona is lurking. We have a task. Wear your mask, continue to practice social distancing and frequent hand washing. Stick and stay. Thank you for making Caribbean Insight your #1 stop for culture. Today we have over 10,000 subscribers. You have showed your interest in keeping Caribbean culture alive. We are offering you our t-shirt collections. Shirts that invoke thoughts and empowerment. They are collector's items and memorabilia. For your participation, go to the link below and make your contribution to foster the value of our Caribbean cultural stories. Thank you for your support as we continue to develop.
Coronavirus COVID-19 is reminding us to keep our hands clean. Anytime you cough, anytime you sneeze, cover your mouth and cover your nose, please. They say the virus is a Chinese product, so nobody expected the thing to work. They catch me off guard, the truth must be told. That is why it's spreading all over the world. You gotta stay inside it longer. Keep your distance like Hamidullah and Kenny J. Both of them say, somebody stay inside.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there has been only one case of a positive test for COVID-19. Our government's approach has been to follow the science, act prudently on the medical advice of the professionals in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The interrelatedness and crisscrossing of all these dimensions affects St. Vincent and the Grenadines directly, without recourse to any particular action on our part. Although all airports and seaports of entry remain open except Chateaubriand, which is closed temporarily. There is
the three main components of Carnival: Mass, Pan, and Calypso. What wrote letters to the CDC to cancel Carnival 2020. Parents are going to be able to have their children enrolled in schools online. You don't have to leave and go down, take the boat and go down to Union Island just to register the child at a primary school. You can do so online.
The government has purchased the antiviral drug interferon from Cuba in sufficient doses to satisfy the treatment cycles for 50 patients. I shall brief the members of the opposition on the details of this economic recovery and stimulus package. The bulk of the revenue for this package is targeted to come from 6 main sources: the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, the Contingency Fund of the Government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the United Arab Emirates, the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, other financial institutions, and bondholders. The monies from these sources are either in hand or at hand, and all Vincentians are expected to play significant roles in our economic recovery. The expenditure of the revenue garnered for the economic recovery and stimulus plan will focus on the following main items: COVID-19 health initiatives, such as construction of the isolation unit and associated facilities, immediate generation of jobs in public works programs, specifically funded road and building programs and other physical facilities, direct supports in the areas of farming, animal husbandry, fishing, additional monies for the Farmers Support Company, free seeds for the farmers at the Agricultural Input Warehouse, support for the iron industry. In the north of this country, the northeast, this is an important industry. Social supports for vulnerable and affected persons. We'll be widening the social safety net with an interim assistance benefit program for persons not on public assistance nor in receipt of a pension. And they will get this interim assistance benefit until December the 31st, 2020. Additional resources for grants under the promotion of the Youth Micro Enterprises Program, the PRIME. Additional supports for small businesses, including in the field of culture and the arts. Additional supports for the Tourism Authority. This economic recovery plan is designed to lift up our people, our nation. It will enable us to rise stronger from the feverish ashes of COVID-19. Every single one of us in our small country has an uplifting role to play. Each of us has to put his or her mind, heart, and hands to it. Together, we are at war against the COVID-19 disease.
You gave me no mansion, no gold, no diamond, yet I love you a million for the things that you have to offer. Is more than my heart's desire. Lovely beach, tropical breeze, always there within my reach. I love you, St. Vincent, me sweet little island, St. Vincent. I love you, St. Vincent, home of the blessed St. Vincent. St. Vincent, St. Vincent, I love you. Can look at the sunrise, can look at the sunset. Sweet Mother Nature, such beauty, such splendor. Can live my life without fear. Freedom to go anywhere. You got love and you got peace. From La Soufrière to the Grenadines. I love you, St. Vincent, me sweet little island, St. Vincent. I love you, St. Vincent, home of the blessed St. Vincent. St. Vincent, St. Vincent, I love you. Calypso and reggae to make me jaggy. Bamboo melody and in harmony dance and carnival. You got so much bacchanal. Wailing time is any time, and any time is wailing time. I love you, St. Vincent, me sweet little island, St. Vincent. I love you, St. Vincent, me Hyrule, St. Vincent. St. Vincent, St. Vincent, I love you. Mango guava jelly, early morning fish tea, coconut water, farina and zabuka, pilau, crayfish and kalaloo, sauce, dumpling and manikou, roast breadfruit, blackfish ribs, and much, much more deliciousness. I love you, St. Vincent, me sweet little island, St. Vincent. I love you, St. Vincent, home of the blessed St. Vincent. St. Vincent, St. Vincent, I love.
Stay inside, wash your hands, sanitize, follow the Ministry of Health advice to save our life. In this pandemic time of coronavirus, amalgamated security is serious, and our employees are essential. So we taking steps for COVID prevention, supplying free hand soap, sanitizers, face masks to communities, clients, families, and staff. Remember social distancing, keep a space in between. Let us continue to live. Wash your hands, sanitize, and do it so can save our lives. Wear face mask when you need, because your life really matter indeed.
Dear patrons, J&E Promotions sincerely regret to announce the postponement of our 20th edition of St. Patrick Emancipation King Queen Pageant Talent and Runway Fashion, which was scheduled for Sunday 9th August 2020 at Naparima Bowl, San Fernando. This postponement is due to the fear and uncertainty surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for your relentless support as we look forward to seeing you in 2021 as we continue to foster in keeping the African dream alive. Let's take pride in mentoring and be advocates as we persist in sharing, helping, and supporting each other. God bless.
Don't forget to wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Keep your surroundings free from bacteria. Stay away from your friends and your neighbor. If you want to sneeze or cough, use tissue paper. And if you're feeling sick, you should call the doctor. You better listen to what Nurse X is telling you, because we don't want to put you 6 feet under. Alright?
Thank you for making Caribbean Insight your #1 stop for culture. Today we have over 10,000 subscribers. You have showed your interest in keeping Caribbean culture alive. We are offering you the Morris Bishop t-shirt, a shirt that invokes thought and empowerment. It's a collector's item, a memorabilia. For your participation, go to the link below and make your contribution to foster the value of our Caribbean cultural stories. Thank you for your support as we continue to develop.
A message of hope, a message of love to our people and the rest of the world for the rest of the 90s in times. We seem to feel that life is over just because we throw a few pennies down the gutter. We seem to feel everything is lost, so we fighting to get back something at any cost. But while we fighting and we fighting just to get back that little something, we forgetting we know nothing of this world in which we live in. Someone greater put this world together, so we must remember. In times of plenty we must be grateful. In times of sorrow we must be strong. In times of joy we must be thankful. But life really have its up and its down. In times of disaster we must be ready to get together and move racism out the way. And if you listen to this watchword from your lover, black darling, tomorrow would be a better day for you and you and you. We meet a world today with 4 seasons. Now who is we to try and find out what's the reason and what goes wrong, so must come back wrong, so why that is so nobody don't know. And there are so much other mysteries that nobody still can answer, so we just got to say thanks and keep looking to the future, because this world is not yours to control, it is just to behold. In times of plenty we must be grateful. In times of sorrow we must be strong. In times of joy we must be thankful. But life really have its up and its down. In times of disaster we must be ready to get together and move racism out the way. And if you listen to this watchword from your lover, black Stalin, tomorrow would be a better day for you and you and me. Through this life we live in, we must know by now that this world owes us nothing. So live your life and just enjoy it, and let's try to leave this world better than we find it. Because the maker of this world with nobody have no contract, it have no paper that could tell you yesterday is going to come back. Look ahead, for tomorrow you're dead. After all is said, in times of plenty we must be grateful. In times of sorrow we must be strong. In times of joy we must be thankful. For life really have its up and its down. In times of disaster you must be ready to get together and move racism out the way. And if you listen to this watchword from your lover, black Stalin, tomorrow would be a better day. Keep the faith.
The Caribbean's roadmap to recovery continues on CITV. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. You want to see it? Let's follow the advice of our leaders and be safe. I'm Lady V, and I'll catch you at the next pit stop.